Men always beat their wives. My daughter Susie shared with me the wisdom she had received from her Marxist teachers in high school. I was driving her to school, as I drove her to school every day. Men always beat their wives. Really? Yes. Do I beat your mother? Does either grandfather beat either grandmother? How about uncles? How about anybody you know? Men always beat their wives. I learned it in school. And besides that, men, the patriarchy, don't pay women what they're worth. Okay. I wasn't going to win this argument and let it drop. Another day. America is evil, you know. Really? Why are we evil? Well, America had slavery. That's true. So did most of the world. Well, slavery is bitter and cruel. There's different kinds of slavery. Let's compare the United States with Brazil. Brazil imported 6 times as many Africans as America did, because it was cheaper just to work them to death and bring more than to let them have families. In America, we let them have families. They're still with us. More than that, we fought a great war to end slavery. And at the time of the war, 10% of the blacks were already free. I think you can be pretty proud of your ancestors. Well, she hadn't learned that history. They still hate black people. End of discussion. Dad, you know, Japanese American citizens lost their property when they were moved out of California in World War II. Yes, that's true. It was a mistake, a little bit. Well, that was a terrible thing to do. Susie, you have to understand the history. At the time America did that, the Japanese had invaded Manchuria, killing hundreds of thousands of civilians. They had invaded Malaysia and Singapore, killing lots of British civilians. We were worried. We didn't know if they'd be loyal to the United States or Japan. So we didn't take a chance. Well, Americans still hate Japanese. I said, Susie, I'm married to a woman who's half Japanese. How can you say that? That's your mother. Well, she didn't have an answer to that one. That's the way it went. Now, I drove Susie to school and home every day. Why did I do that? The result of a series of lost arguments. Dad, drive me to school. Susie, the bus stops 50 meters from here at the end of the block. Take the bus. I can't do that. It's too early. It's 7:15. Well, take it anyhow. Well, Mom says I don't have to. Okay. Tell you what, why don't you walk? You can leave 20 minutes later and still get to school on time because it's not that far. It's dangerous. No, it's not. I'll walk with you. No, Mom says I don't have to. Okay. Now, we'd already had the discussion of why she didn't drive, like her brother and sister did. Dad, I can't drive. Cars pollute, you know, it's global warming. I said, yes. I don't know how it helps global warming if I drive you twice every day instead of you driving once. Well, Dad, I can't drive. It's global warming. I'm not going to do it. Mom says I don't have to. I lost that one too. So that's why I was driving Susie to school and learning all about Marxism. You might say, Graham, you lost most of these arguments. That's true. I lost almost every one. I remember one that I won. Dad, drive me to the health club. Susie, the walk will do you good. It's only 2 miles away. Well, Dad, I don't know how to get there. Well, it's true, you should, but you don't. I'll walk with you. Well, the mere thought of walking someplace with your old father when you're a 17-year-old girl was more than she could stand. She would not walk with me to the health club, so that issue dropped. She didn't get her exercise, which she could have used, but on the other hand, I didn't drive her. We might gather that the Marxists didn't teach her very good history. She didn't win the arguments on the basis of facts. But they did teach her how to argue. Never shut up. Just keep on pounding your opponent. Now, this is something that doesn't work if your opponent can walk away, but unfortunately, as a father, I really couldn't walk away, and I might have felt like hitting her, but I couldn't do that either. The last time she came at me was the week before Halloween in 2006. She spent half an hour going over how evil the patriarchy was, how racist, how sexist, how everything, and how me in particular had done all that stuff, which was difficult for her because I hadn't done anything. I was the same guy I am now. So she had to make stuff up, and it was hard. She hates making stuff up. She hates work. Well, she ranted on for half an hour about how evil men were and how evil I was, with her mother sitting right there, saying not a word. When it was over, I thought to myself, why am I here? Susie doesn't need me, doesn't want me. The older children are out of college and they don't talk to me. My wife doesn't appreciate me, doesn't really want me. Why am I here? A week later I said, Mary Ann, I want a divorce. She thought about it for a minute and said, you can't take Shady. What? I couldn't take Shady, the cat. I was the only one in the family that liked Shady. She was just doing that to be mean. But on the other hand, I didn't know where I was going. I said, okay, keep the cat. So we went through a fairly clean divorce. She didn't love me, which meant there was no real emotion involved. I learned the American system of divorce. I'd heard about it. Here's the rule. Half of what's ours is mine, and half of what's yours is mine. I had brought most of the money into the marriage. She took most of the money out of it. I really didn't care. I was so happy to get out. So there I am, single and 64, and all I ever wanted in life was a woman who loved me and appreciative children. I spent 10 months in the United States trying to find that. Stories of pathos and chaos, but a lot of amusement, the subject of my next few speeches. Madam Toastmaster.